Hello, my name is Dr. Sonwalkar, and I want to devote this segment to one of my pet topics where I strongly feel that current assessment system is very antiquated and not geared towards the knowledge economy that we live in. As we all know, the current educational system, which was outgrowth of industrial revolution, has not changed over almost like 100 years. And when it started to happen, the idea there was to create industry workers who knew certain facts and could remember certain tasks and can deliver them faithfully in a very large numbers. So the universities were created to generate industry workers who will be efficient in doing the task and not efficient in creative thinking or in critical thinking. So in the today's knowledge economy, now we live in a very different world where the creative thinking and the critical thinking are two assets. That is what universities have to generate. So now let's look at how assessment, our current assessment and the course system works for that. So think about a student who is an undergraduate student joining college, and he's taking 4 courses. As you know, according to the Carnegie classification of credit hour system, he will take a course which is 3 credit hour. And 3 credit hour means requires student to have 3 hours in the classroom face to face with the faculty. 3 hours he has to do homework and 3 hours of reading. And so each course requires about 9 hours of time. So if you look at a student who is taking 5 days of classes, he has about 40 hours to his disposal in terms of the daytime, but if you also consider another 8 hours beyond the daytime classes, then he has almost 80 hours. So if you are a student taking 4 courses, then you have to spend 12 hours in the classroom face to face. Each course has 3 hours of face to face, so you have 4 courses, and then you have to spend almost 24 hours outside doing your chores. So now you can see that out of that, we already took about 36 hours out of this 80 hours, and then we are also requiring them to do their own tasks. So what if effectively it means that at every week a undergraduate student will have only 24 hours for his own activities. Now you're talking about the distractions that 18-year-old and 21-year-old students have. So that is very minimal time left just with 4-hour course load that a student is having. And then every course has 3 midterms and 1 final exam, or maybe final paper to write. So if you look at the way grade system is done today, is that the midterms have almost like 30% of the grade for each one. So 90% of the grade is devoted to midterm exam, and 10% of the grade is given to assignments. Now teachers can change that, so there could be other variations like 20% for each exam, so you have 60% for midterms, 20% for the final, and maybe 20% for assignments. And each course normally would have at least 10 assignments and about, I would say, 14 to 18 lectures that they will go through in this 14-week model, where each will have at least 2 lectures per week. So what I'm trying to make the point here is students have very little time to really spend time on learning, reflecting, absorbing, and understanding. What they're essentially doing, running against the time at all levels to make the grade. So the learning is put aside, the grade becomes more important, and so they will cram, they will try to prepare for the midterms exam. As soon as they are done with the exam, they'll forget everything what they learned. And that's the failure of our system, because this assessment system of 3 midterms and 1 final exam is not leading to for the student to really understand and learn and then use that learning in applications later on when they graduate. So my suggestion here for the knowledge-based economy system is a evaluation and assessment system which is continuous assessment. So students have to essentially master certain concept which they are going to use not only in the classroom but beyond the classroom, and they have to then master that concept in terms of the content which is presented for that concept, as well as they have to demonstrate mastery in that concept. And so if a course has let's say 10 concepts to be taught, then instead of doing 3 midterms and 1 final, we now go to continuous assessment for each concept and see how student is mastering or not. So if a student is mastering one concept, then he can go to the next concept and next and next, and the reward is only given for them reaching a certain mastery level, let's say 80% of mastery level in each concept. So if we then put the incentive in terms of learning concept, mastering it, demonstrating your mastery of that concept, then we are talking about student focusing on the learning process rather than acing an exam and then forgetting everything what they've learned. So I want to present here to you all that let's go back and think about our assessment system again, which is very antiquated now, and let's redesign assessment in a way that it is a continuous intelligent assessment, and it allows students to also improve at every level when they are assessed. So it doesn't leave them with competencies which are not completed, but it allows them another chance to go back and say, okay, I got 60%, I can take this assessment 1 more time or 3 more time to get to the competency. So now learning is at the forefront rather than the grade at the forefront. So this is the model that I'm proposing in the personalized educational system, in which we have adaptive learning as well as adaptive testing. And that adaptive testing will be connected with the concept mastery at each concept level, and the assessment will be continuous rather than 3-point system with 1 final exam or 1 final paper. Won't that be wonderful? Thank you.